Thanks for tuning in for our official and final 2013-14 Winter Outlook. I'm lead forecaster Brooks Barber, reporting to you from the Cirrus Weather Headquarters in Hays, Kansas. Before we get started, let me please remind you that while this is our final outlook for the upcoming winter, I definitely cannot guarantee the accuracy of this forecast. This does not mean the forecast is incorrect by any means, nor does it mean not to take my thoughts into consideration to prepare for the upcoming winter. But do take it with a grain of salt and understand that forecasting for the long range is very difficult. Also, please remember this is an overall forecast for the winter season, and the weather will most definitely not be the way this forecast says every single day. First here, we will take a look on how much snow Kansas usually receives on an annual basis. Obviously, here in Kansas every winter is very different, and we especially know of the extreme differences we can see from one day to the next. For instance, one day it may be 60 degrees outside with perfect sunny blue skies, and the next morning we may wake up to sub-freezing temperatures with a foot of snow and blizzard conditions. With that said, everyone still has an average annual snowfall total. As you can see, based off of the data from the National Climate Data Center between 1961 and 1990, Northwest Kansas receives the most snowfall on average, with between 24 to 36 inches. The majority of the state sees between a foot and 2 feet of snow, which does include Hays and Wichita. Along the Oklahoma border in southeast Kansas, we generally see just under a foot or around a foot of snow. There are many factors that go into a winter forecast, many of which are very complicated and confusing for the general public to understand. With that said, I'm going to provide some of the reasons why I'm forecasting what I am forecasting, but I'm going to try to keep it short, simple, and understandable. Two very handy resources for looking at what to expect during the winter are the NAO, which stands for the North Atlantic Oscillation, and the AO, which stands for Arctic Oscillation. For much of the last month, both have been strongly positive, but just recently, here at the end of November, the NAO took a dip into negative and the AO took an approach towards neutral. It currently looks like both may go positive again as we get into December. Looking forward through the rest of winter, however, despite uncertainty and off-and-on fluctuations between positive and negative for both, it looks possible for the NAO to be primarily near neutral, if not slightly negative this winter. The AO looks possible to be primarily negative for the most part this winter, with a few approaches towards neutral. Another factor that goes into a winter forecast is whether we are or may experience a La Nina or an El Nino. To briefly explain this and give you the general idea of what these terms mean, a La Nina is when the waters of the Pacific Ocean are cooler, and this typically brings cooler than average temperatures to the northern and northwestern portions of the United States, and warmer conditions to the eastern and southern portions of the country. El Nino, on the other hand, is when the waters of the Pacific Ocean are warmer, and this typically brings warmer conditions to the northern U.S. and cooler and wetter conditions to the south. This winter, the vast majority of all forecasts are calling for a neutral ENSO, which means we will likely not experience either of the two, or as some like to call it, a La Nada. Some other primary factors that go into a winter forecast include Siberian snow cover, climatology, and even sunspot activity, along with many others. However, I don't want to get too much deeper into all of this and keep you waiting for why you are here. So, now for the good part. Here is a look at all of our official winter forecast graphics for the upcoming winter season. Thank you for tuning in for the official and final Cirrus Weather 2013-2014 Winter Outlook. I hope you learned something new, got the idea of what to expect for your area this winter, and enjoyed the video. For more information, along with text descriptions for the forecast, please visit our website at www.cirruswx.net. For Cirrus Weather, this has been lead forecaster Rick Stormer in the Cirrus Weather Headquarters